What up, FIFA Tiers, and welcome to the FUT Tiers podcast. I am Mersgoth, and as always, I am joined by my fellow co-hosts, Brad and Luke. How are you both doing today?
Yeah, doing all right. Yeah, enjoyed
doing well.
Our new series. Let's give it a plug right now.
Yeah,
give it a brief plug. Hack to the Future.
Check it out.
Where I make multiple blunders, which is going to be worth watching. Stick around to the end for that. Where I can't do an intro and I can't show my packs because I'm a fraud.
Yeah.
But it's all good. It's all in good spirit. It should be up by the time that you are listening to this.
But the main reason we have been opening packs for the new series is because there's some juiced up players in packs at the moment, isn't there, Luke?
Yes, there is. There's a team that... No, I'm kidding. There's not a team of the week, but there is. But it's not what people care about. We've got team of the year. The time of year where everyone looks forward to it, where we get 11 juiced cards, and then slightly later, we need a 12th man here. Where are you? Let's be having you. Come on. So we've got a 12th man vote currently happening between Benzema, who's not winning it, Salah, who might win it, and Ronaldo, who's probably winning it.
I think it's going to be Salah.
12th man votes. You think it's going to be Salah?
Yeah.
No.
I mean...
No, that's not how EA works.
I'm just saying, I think...
Come on, they've got to sell packs.
I think that Salah will win it because I think a lot of the community will vote for it, but also he is currently, I think, is it in the Twitch Prime pack tonight, what was the lone player?
It's Mo Salah.
It's Mo Salah. Okay, so maybe that might have changed things, but originally before that, we have lone players of the other two that are involved. So yeah, that was what my thought.
There's a rumor from a Mr. Pro Trader 87, also known as Bateson, who's saying that there's a possibility that if you wait on that Twitch Prime pack, that the Salah might actually be a team of the year, and there's no actual harm in it because the full team of the year will be out at that point.
I can tell you that's not true.
You might as well save your Prime pack. It's not true.
No, because I opened my Twitch Prime pack with Messi during the forwards, and he wasn't a team of the year player. Okay. So I can squash that thought straight away because I saw my Twitch Prime pack was already there when the forwards were in, and I thought, I'm going to just open that one because I don't have duplicates of that to do on my video. I thought, there's Messi. Oh, hang on, he's come out gold rare when he's now a team of the year. But yeah, so no, it's not true.
There you go. Myth busted.
Busted already.
Right.
Call me Matt HD Gamer.
I was going to say you're more on TV, but so what do we think of Team of the Year so far with the upgrade packs that they brought out, with obviously the player choices with Messi, Mbappe and Lewandowski for starters? Thoughts on that? Do you think we've said previously what our one should have been
rigged. Like I say, when you look at this, is why I'm saying CR7's going to win the vote, right? Mm-hmm. EA don't give two craps about the vote; they just want to rig it anyway. Mm-hmm. So I think CR7's going to win the 12th man, and Salah should have been in the normal team because most people that I saw were voting for Salah. So
as did
how did Salah not get into the?
You voted because you were voting from the EA perspective.
Yeah, I literally voted for Messi, Mbappe and Neymar. So.
I mean, I put forward this question to another podcast, and I'll say it to you guys. Like, instead of having a vote, maybe EA should do a partnership where the team of the year is based off of like the World 11 or something like that from the Ballon d'Or or the other World 11 that came out earlier this month, rather than having it as a vote, because then it's down to, because you would see more variety as well with each year in Team of the Year, because that's the thing, when you look at variety within Team of the Year, most of the time you're seeing roughly at least 50% familiar faces, with maybe the other bit chopping and changing depending if they've played well that year or if they're really fitting the meta for that particular calendar year on FIFA.
But say for instance though, if you really thought that like the community's vote is the actual thing that fully decides it, because let's face it, it's not, there is, in all the nominees, there is room for there to be a bit more of a like eclectic team, but it doesn't happen because everybody wants the same players, and that's the unfortunate thing about it. Everybody wants a Messi, everybody wants an Mbappe, everybody wants a thing. You know, like there'll be players that get some votes, but they really will make up just a small amount anyway. So I think either they've got to take it out of the community's hands completely and, like you say, follow something else. But if they leave it down to people's voting and add in some different players like they have done, people don't vote for them anyway because everyone's boring and they don't want different players. They want what I voted for, which is the same players, team year, always week in week out. Yeah, I
wanted my upgraded version of Kostic. I don't know about you guys.
No, that's what I mean though. But that's like you specific. Like that doesn't go against the rest of the majority. And I can't think for any. Let's just take this for a vote, for instance. Did either one of us vote for Jorginho? Exactly.
No.
I can't remember. I know I voted for Barella.
And I don't believe that many people in the community voted for Jorginho, but he was going to get one because that was just what they won the Euros and Chelsea won the Champions League, and it was just how it was going to be. Like it didn't matter what people voted in a way in that sense. So yeah, so unfortunately I think
in the same vein then, do you think Luka Modric should have been in the team of the year when he won the Ballon d'Or?
What should have been in the team of the year, or
because he got to the World Cup final.
Yeah, definitely.
He won the Champions League.
Definitely, and I'm sure he probably didn't get in over some other meta players that were in that year.
Which is why I feel they should just do a partnership with like
Nike.
The world.
I think they just take it out. Yeah, let's do it. Like turn team of the year into a Nike numbers up promo, something like that.
Oh dear.
No, I mean, in terms of the team, I don't mind it. It is the same old stuff. We know that anyway. But yeah, I haven't tried to pack any yet. Obviously, I am saving, so I am inevitably going to get one. I'm calling it here now. Even though I've seen other people open 1,000 packs and not get any, I'm telling you, it's happening.
This man and his streak, getting a team of the year every year since
FIFA 17,
since, FIFA 17, and now that's going to all come crashing down, just like bonus draft builder last week.
Yeah.
But you can start your own new streak. And years of not getting a team of the year.
There we go.
Weeks you don't win on bonus draft.
That's it. Yeah, I'll start.
It's starting a new streak.
Or weeks that I technically draw on bonus draft builder, but call it a win. Yeah.
Listen, okay, right. Did I win? Yes or no?
Yes, you joined one.
Did I come first? Yeah. Is it first? Is it first place?
Yeah. If you're in the Olympics, they would be a gold medal for you, and also the person stood next to you. Yeah.
Yes, so that's a win.
That is true.
Importantly, at the end of the day.
Yeah.
Definitively looking at.
But yeah, like just to touch on that as well, what Lou's talking about, there is a giveaway from that for anyone who's not on YouTube and just listen to this on the podcast. Get over and follow us on Twitter, FSB Creators, over on Twitter. You need to get involved in this giveaway. 4,600 FIFA points just in time for the full Team of the Year release. Don't spend your money, spend ours.
Spend Brad's.
Yeah. Attackers wise, I don't mind it. I think it's an all right team.
Here's an interesting thing though. This might be the year you talk about the same old. I think this is probably the year with the most debutants for Team of the Year. Like the entire defence hasn't been in it before.
No.
Right, the whole defence and goalkeeper. That's 5. And Jorginho's not been in it before. That's 6. That's a majority of the Team of the Year are actually brand new players. Even though it's meta, you talk about being same old. It's actually somewhat new.
Yeah, in sense
meta.
Of those players that have not far.
A lot of those players you can actually say deserve to be in there, because you can say based off accomplishments, Jorginho should be in there. He's probably achieved the most in terms of trophies in the last year. Messi had a better. I'm just going to sound like a hot take. Let's go for a hot take this week. Messi had a better half a season than Salah has when he was at Barcelona than Salah is now. Mbappe statistically actually has outperformed, even though it's in a Farmers League, etc., etc. If you're looking at statistics, has done better than Salah has over the calendar year.
Yeah,
and the other member of that team being Lewandowski sheer numbers.
Yeah.
Like, the sheer numbers up front.
Yeah.
Kante is the most... Do you know what? Kante is probably the one that I'd debate the most. Or Ruben Diaz. Not Ruben Diaz. The other centre, but Marquinhos.
Hakimi?
They're the two most debatable ones. Hakimi won the league.
People were saying Trent over Marquinhos.
League-winning important
Hakimi,
fullback.
sorry.
League-winning important fullback.
Yeah, I mean...
What can you say? He was a lot of the reason why Inter were so good under Conte. In a system that orients around wing-backs under Conte, the man was just...
He did.
Incredible.
He had a lot of things to do with that. I mean, they were a force to be reckoned with, weren't they, that season anyway? But generally, I'm not surprised to see him in there. It's just people look at that and see it as a PSG card and forget that isn't what he got it for.
He's got it for his Inter Milan days. But everyone, obviously, some people would rightly say that Trent is the best fullback in the world in terms of offensive threat.
Yeah,
I'm saying an offensive threat because defensively he can be a bit suspect at times, but it depends what you define the role as a fullback compared to a wing back, etc. Like, it gets into that whole debate and debacle.
I mean, also defensively, stat-wise, Trent had better stats than Hakimi as well. It isn't just offensive, like in terms of the assists. It's actually also on the defensive front as well. In terms of, like, I think it was like aerial duels, tackles completed and stuff like that. Like, he outshone Hakimi in 2021 over the calendar year. So
I think if they pick up a trophy that year, then this whole team in terms of Chelsea players is different, and there's a lot more Liverpool players in there, isn't there? But like you say, Kante would probably be somebody else in Liverpool midfield, and you'd probably end up with Trent at right back instead of Hakimi just because they won a trophy. But they didn't, and that's just how it is. It's just how it is.
Yeah, it's like if England won the Euros, you wouldn't see Donnarumma in there.
No, you wouldn't. No,
you'd probably see Edouard Mendy in there.
Yeah.
You'd probably see
not Pickford.
No, Pickford. Yeah, we want to see a relegation candidate.
Actually, yeah. Let's face it. If England won the Euros,
man's channeling his Sunderland days at the moment.
If England won the Euros, the team of the year would be full Brexit English team. You know it.
You might have seen Harry Kane sneak in based off of his first half of the year, where most goals, most assists, Euros winner.
Maybe
that would have been a push because Spurs don't win anything, but it could have been a thing. You never know. Circumstances very, very different, because we would be in a lot happier moods looking back at the last year if England had won Euros. Not you, Mers. You'd have preferred Spain. We know that.
Yeah.
But
Definitely.
Mers is neither here nor there if England win anything.
Viva la España.
But yeah, I mean, it's not too bad. I don't mind the midfielders. I just like Kante again. It's just a little bit like that guy
that you voted for.
Yeah. I did vote for him, but I just think that's because I knew that was the way it would go. It's not because I actually wanted to see that card.
Well, it depends how many people voted the way that they thought.
The way they think it's going to go, exactly, and also if we say,
people are going to be sheep, and that might happen.
And also, like we say, how much of the voting actually does get taken into consideration. I think if we saw the actual stats of how much they play a part, would probably be, well, I'd say surprised, but not surprised. I don't think we would be surprised. But yeah, then obviously the other players, Jorginho, obviously well deserving of his. And then De Bruyne. The De Bruyne?
Yeah, De Bruyne is actually that's one. No, that's the most debatable one for me. There you go. Sorry, completely forgot he's in there.
Didn't spent a lot of that season injured.
Yes.
So yeah,
although I'm pretty certain he got Player of the Season over Harry Kane as well, which irked me at the time.
Yeah.
Did he really deserve to be debatable?
Just one thing I want to bring up about the Team of the Year, which I found interesting from a video that I saw recently. You can get every single one of the current 11, not including 12 man, into a team together with 100 chem.
That's interesting.
Team. So yeah, that's interesting. The only player that would be off chem is Lewandowski. So I'm pretty sure every player would be on full chem in that situation if you put them in the right formation. The 12th man, if it's like say CR7, then you definitely can have probably nearly everyone on full chem, maybe other than Messi if you put him up. in a like centre mid role or something like that in a 4-3-3 or something like that.
Well, say for instance, if it does end up being Salah, you might be able to put him on a right forward on 7 chem or left forward or whatever, and get him
forward,
and have everyone on chemistry anyway. So yeah, that's interesting actually.
Yeah. So someone like Bateson could basically have a full team of the year team.
Yeah, but why would they have a player off chem when they could just play Eusebio and
he probably would use an icon.
Yeah, it's true. That is true, but
he could easily afford
it is interesting.
Come on, man's clearly got more brain cells than that. You won't have a player off chem. He'll just play one of the best icons in the game instead.
But yeah, you got your perfect link of
be interesting to see
and
how
Diaz, and so
roll clip.
Donnarumma to the strong link to Marquinhos. Yeah, Hakimi. Yeah, I see that. That is interesting. Yeah. I mean, it's because there's a lot of there's a lot of one teamers, isn't there? Like there is.
Yes.
Like it wouldn't have been the case if Hakimi was still at Inter Milan. He would then be the one player that probably would struggle to get chemistry as well, being Moroccan from Serie A. But yeah, it's interesting.
It is.
It's only 4 teams.
I know, it's crazy. It's crazy.
Of the year so far.
It's like they don't rate anybody's individual performance. It's just more like,
and even one of them's a one-team player as well with Lewandowski.
Yeah. And you can't not rate his individual performance because it's just so outstanding. Like, and also like the guy deserved his props like the year before, and in the Ballon d'Or and didn't get it because of
he got a backup.
Yeah, basically, due to the vid.
But we do have one more thing to touch on with Team of the Year, and that's obviously the upgrade packs, which are actually very interesting. Like, a lot of people were preparing, they knew these are coming, they didn't know what the requirements would be. We looked at last year how everyone's Ligue 1 ones skyrocketed because Neymar had the team of the week and Mbappe was in there, etc. But actually, the normal ones are just gold upgrades, and the premium ones are 11 rares and 45 chems. So maybe that explains why there was the 30k packs.
The bizarre 30k pack.
The bizarre 30k pack where there's a 10% chance to get an inform, and there's a 99% chance to get a 79 rated.
It's crazy. 30k for 75 to 80 rated players seems strange, but not when you then factor in the fact that actually, like, the rares are now about to gonna go through the roof for these SBCs, especially right now, like I say, because the Premier League one needing 11 rare golds, and being the Premier League midfield is only, or what it is in Team of the Year is all Premier League. Means that people are gonna be trying to get one through them Premier League upgrades, aren't they? So it makes more sense now than when we saw it earlier, and I couldn't believe what that pack was.
I mean, gold rares are still sitting at 800 coins right now, with 15 seconds to go. So it's not had as much of an impact as maybe EA anticipated it would by releasing such a pack. But who knows? And I think
at the moment, like, there'll still be people holding on to packs for the full Team of the Year release. So even then, when it gets to that point, they're going to still be fairly cheap again because we're going to be flooding the market anyway. And I will probably put most of my gold rares into those upgrades as well. But I think that's pretty much all we have to say about Team of the Year at the moment. Obviously, defenders are on the horizon with obviously Donnarumma. Unfortunately, as everybody knows, we got leaked it a lot sooner than we would have liked. But that just seems to be how things have operated this year. The Birmingham fan wants to leak everybody's promos for EA, and also get as many Birmingham players as he can into special cards. So there is other things that have happened in the week, and one of them we talked about the changes in the last episode of the podcast, and now we've seen the changes. Now the biggest one for me in these patch, we're talking about post patch here, with pitch notes, etc. We said goalkeepers were going to be improved. Now, I can only speak from my experience on this, but I did briefly chat with Mers about it. I think we just mentioned it, didn't we? On maybe it was on. I can't remember if it was on when I was on my stream. I did that little stream or something happened. Stream. But basically, I think I played just my games of Rivals enough to get me some packs for the Thursday to bulk up my packs, and not a single game I had was less than 10 goals. Because every single shot we had, the goalkeeper did not save a single one, and yet that was one of the things that was meant to be improved. What have you guys noticed?
I've noticed how OP the finesse isn't now not as good in the box. I think I've found. I've struggled to score them, but as a caveat, I can chip a goalie when he's on his line. So, who's the real winner?
Yeah, the chip shots does seem like a bit of a weird one. The one thing I've noticed with the goalkeepers is they are extra short parrying balls straight directly to a winger or a cam so that they can just tap the ball straight into the back of the net.
Yeah, I think actually I do remember. So, I think in one of the games particular, I think that happened 3 times. He had 3 of the identical goals. And in fact, like, if I could show you now, I did one of the guys that I did come up against afterwards. I think that might have been the 6-4 game. Messaged me saying like good game, and the only response I could say to it was goalkeepers are now pointless, because every single time we went up and down the other end of the pitch, it was a goal. So it was just like, who's going to get there first? Because that person's going to win. So yeah, it was just terrible. And then, like, I've noticed again, I don't think the player switching has been improved that much at all. I still found myself a couple of times not being able to select my fullback or centre back when I needed to. It's just one of those things again, isn't it? You know, like, we get promised something, we get told something's being fixed, and then they do it and they break all other things, like, and it just seems to be repeated. Like, I've seen a lot of people now saying, can we just take it back to patch 1? Like, let's just take it back to the original game where goalkeepers were really overpowered and you could only beat them with like a finesse that was from outside the box, because at least that wasn't nowhere near as bad as what we've got now. But I guarantee you we'll be having this exact same conversation when Team of the Season's out.
I half disagree. Not with the Team of the Year, not with the Team of the Season comment, but going back to patch 1, I need to emphasise this, I despise the finesse shots. The timed finesse shots could just get in the bin. I don't want to have to move my goalkeeper manually every single time to try and stop that. Yes, goalkeepers in the box were great, that was fine. But that does not entitle it to have a long shot going every single time without failure.
And that is,
I hated that.
I've got to say, is one of the things I have noticed.
I would prefer last patch to hot take. I would prefer last patch.
Yeah.
To actually the start of the game. Yes, I conceded a lot of time finesses anyway, but they could still save them from time to time. They wouldn't just go in every single time without fail. I will take
a variety of
certain
goals.
things, but just feeling helpless when the ball just floats in from 35 yards when a right back with 62 shooting does that consistently. No, sorry. That people are there was great parts of patch 1, but that finesse shot was not part of it. That was not part of it.
And I've got to admit, the one thing I did notice, that one of the guys I played against in the high scoring games, he did try a couple of times like a 35-40 yard finesse, and it was nice to see my goalkeeper actually save it. I'm not going to lie, that was the one time my goalkeeper did make a save, but anywhere inside the box, no. Just didn't save anything. And I just wish we need to, like, if we could find some in between. Like, yes, you shouldn't be able to score a finesse from 35 yards, but yes, goalkeepers should be able to save most things that are at tight angles and stuff, not do this matrix dive where they go backwards. Or a couple of times, actually, I noticed some goalkeepers just stood still. Like, didn't even move at all. And I think, well, what's happened there then? Like, you know, if in modern day football that we'd see now, that's because, like, if you've seen Ward Prowse's free kick, that's because when he hit it,
Lloris against see it.
It's like when you see it and he hit it, that's because it started out in the middle of the goal and absolutely just bent towards the top corner, and there ain't a lot a keeper can do about that. But that ain't happening. You don't see that happening in FIFA. Like, they don't show you the mechanics of that ball and the keeper going, oh no, I was rooted thinking it was going this way and actually it's gone that way. But yeah, I just think, like, I kind of almost, when I see the patch or pitch notes come out now and we talk about it and we think, oh, this is being improved, this is going to happen, I always feel like the next time we're going to be saying, well, this didn't happen, or because they did this is now broken, or something like. It's just something we've got to get used to, and maybe when they change from it being FIFA 22 to EA Football or EA Ultimate Team or whatever they might call it, maybe it'll be a completely different game sort of algorithm or format completely, and maybe they'll revisit the mechanics as a brand new whole. I can't say, in all honesty, in playing any other football games, that I felt that any of them have got it spot on. I think there's maybe too many anomalies just generally in the game of football for them to get everything right. Like too many things can happen. But yeah, then all go on. Yeah.
And I think with goalkeepers as well, like trying to code a goalkeeper animations is probably the most trickiest thing anyway within the gameplay side of things, because you have to have a multitude of different like animations, like obviously the way they position themselves, the dives, like parries, grabbing the ball, like literally there's so many different animations they have to do for a goalkeeper, whereas for normal players it's just like the way they dribble, the way they kick the ball and stuff like that. It's a bit more like smaller amount of stuff that they have to do. But I would also say we need to not just talk about the goalkeepers. I would say like the interception side of things I feel has improved with the goal in terms of the
that was one of the things I did forget about. They changed. I did notice it, but I did say, I remember talking to my brother on playing one of my games. I said, although they've nerfed the hard pass a little bit and they've made interception stronger, I did find that a lot of times all it was doing was just hitting the player and rebounding back anyway. So because of the pace of the ball, although they've got someone there to intercept it, because of the pace on it, the animation was just for that to hit them, go up in the air for a 50-50 header, or just go to one of your players anyway. So I found, like, although it did help interceptions, it just meant there was a bit of pinball and still around anyway. But yeah, there was a lot more interceptions. You couldn't just hard pass it around and suddenly, you know, get to the final third with that through ball, like you were able to quite easily beforehand. Definitely.
Well, I mean, I'm going to test out a theory in the week. You know, considering how much we know this EA employee does love Birmingham City. I think we try out all the Birmingham goalkeepers to see if they've got the right animations.
We should do it,
because maybe it's been hidden in plain sight.
We should definitely do it.
You know, Neil Everidge, the Filipino goalkeeper's got himself 3 traits.
Maybe
3 traits.
Maybe it's.
He's got himself long throw, rushes out a goal, and comes for crosses.
Maybe it's going to be
not saves with feet.
Going back to like the was it, the Butland? No, the sorry, not the Begovic. If you remember when he got the footies, like that goalkeeper was absolutely overpowered, wasn't it? Something like FIFA 17.
Was that footies? That was like I remember.
It was when Bakayoko was OP.
Asmir Begovic, I think, had I'm thinking Mignolet, actually. Mignolet's an example of like a silver goalie going incredible. Yeah. I think he had like a silver team of the week back in FIFA 12. Right. That was insanely good and worth a fortune. I could be.
That's before my time of playing.
Pretty certain it was Mignolet.
Like playing at Ultimate Team, really. But yeah, I definitely remember Begovic. Like you'd come up against all these incredible teams, and they'd have Begovic in goal, and you'd be like, "Oh God, I hate playing against this goalkeeper." And then he got his nominee,
FIFA 18
the pink card. Him and Bakayoko that year. Yeah. Oh my God, yeah, they were annoying.
Yeah, here's the card. I found the card, Mignolet. This is a 74 rated goalkeeper, by the way, FIFA 12. This is the good old days when everything was crazy. 85 diving, 85 handling, 80 kicking, 87 reflexes, 60 speed, 80 positioning. On a silver infant.
Yeah, it's crazy.
Those are the days when things would just be absolutely mental.
But yeah, with that and FIFA and all things Ultimate Team comes another promo other than just Team of the Year, as Luke did allude to at the start. Team of the Week, where obviously all the Team of the Week cards are based on real life football, or certainly attempt to be based on real life football. But once again, as we look at it, or certainly with the predictions I'm looking at on FUTBin, It's just good fodder. There's nothing in there that gives us.
What do you mean? There's Bergwijn, surely.
There's those who missed out on the Fakir.
Yeah, I suppose those that didn't get the Fakir can get an informed Fakir, but generally, Kimmich obviously is the biggest one. He's got his headliner upgrade, potentially. I don't know.
Will they decide to finally do it though? You never know.
You never know. This is all unpredictable.
EA have been fairly lacking on the headliners upgrades.
Well,
and by that I mean they've just been completely lacking.
And the other interesting one in terms of an upgrade on there is actually an upgrade for Donyell Malen, because obviously he had that whole time where Haaland was out, and he was in the forefront, ready to absolutely tear it up for Dortmund, take sort of the throne from Haaland, and he didn't score. I don't think in it was 4 or 5 games. He didn't score a single goal, and this time he's playing up front with Haaland. Doesn't score, but gets 2 assists. Assists Marco Reus and assists Haaland. The other goal in their game was an own goal, but he must have had a good performance because he is rumoured to get an upgrade. 85 for his one to watch, gives him 93 pace, 85 shooting, 87 dribbling. Still going to be off the mark of obviously where we're at now in the game in terms of Team of the Year cards and things, but still a fun card to use in game. If you liked your St. Just, will probably like a second informed Gvardiol, for them to be partnered alongside each other. 86 pace on that defender. Stick him alongside your 81 St. Justs and you've got a very pacey Bundesliga defence there. Other than that, the other honourable mentions, Kruse, getting one for Union Berlin. He scored 2 goals in that game. You've got Diaby for Bayer Leverkusen. Verratti getting an inform for PSG makes him good fodder for Icon SBCs and such, but obviously most people that did his Rule Breakers card will not be interested in getting this, and it's a lot better and more usable than this card. And then other than that, there's not a lot of other great ones. The David Garcia inform has got 62 pace. Demirel for Bergamot Calcio, so that is going to be Atalanta, isn't it?
Yes, it is.
He's got 77 pace, good defending stats, but still lacking a bit off the pace again. You've got a Ledesma for Cadiz in goal. Pepe for Arsenal on the right wing, again 85 dribbling, 89 pace.
Yeah,
that's for Ivory Coast. But
2-star weak foot of
and exactly, and again looking at the card, off the pace, isn't he for any usable cards in the Premier League? Certainly, as Luke mentioned, Bergwijn's getting an upgrade, but once again, he's got his numbers up card that most people would have done because it was fairly easy to obtain in squad battles. So not a lot of impressive Team of the Weeks, and I certainly think if at any time Team of the Week was going to be redundant, it's going to be now when we're in the thick of Team of the Year. I know Luke though would maybe look to be interested in maybe trying out Kruse if we got him in a red pick or packed him.
Depends where he's above his 84 that he got as his objective during Road to the final.
Yeah, we got his. Yes, he did.
Sorry. So he got his RTTK.
Yes, I think I might still have it actually.
Even that's not actually as much as you'd think.
No,
as desirable. But Gvardiol, I sort of predicted this would happen. Being the guy who just checks in on RB Leipzig games for no valid reason at all. No reason at all. I just have them on notifications.
Not at all.
Two goals, both from centre backs this week. It was Gvardiol and Willy Orban. Both got goals. Just Gvardiol's the more appealing option. Let's be honest. And I'm pretty certain this might be a very, 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 very niche thing I saw on the Twitter. I believe it was his birthday. Could be wrong.
Oh,
when he scored.
That's interesting.
Could be wrong. I'll go and double check that now. But something tells me I think it was a picture of him that was on Twitter.
Well, just now looking, that Kruse is the same rated as his Road to the Knockouts, but definitely different on the stats. His Road to the Knockouts has 2 more pace, 2 more dribbling, same shooting, 1 more passing, and then 1 more defense and 2 more physical, which obviously no one really cares about those necessarily. But yeah, he has got, so even though it's the same rated, his UEL card is more boosted than the inform's going to be.
I can confirm it was Josko Gvardiol's birthday yesterday.
It was Gvardiol's birthday. Wow.
Oh.
So he's
A birthday present from me, then.
Well, a birthday present, scoring and keeping a clean sheet on your birthday is pretty good. Pretty good going.
Yeah, it's not too bad. There's probably been worse presents. Probably got some socks or something for Christmas. Yeah, and you got obviously Diaby in there for his hat-trick for Bayer Leverkusen, but again, he's got his Rule Breakers card, which sits at 44,000 coins, so affordable for most players and a lot better than what is going to be an 84 rated inform. So yeah, I mean, there's nothing there that I think, I'm looking at that, opening all my packs next week, and I'm going to think, oh yeah, I wouldn't mind packing that one. Obviously I wouldn't mind packing a Verratti or Kimmich in terms of fodder prices, because it's going to help with any fodder I do get in making up the icon SBCs or the hero player pick or whatever I decide to put my fodder into with the 160 packs I've got in store. But yeah, none of them that are going to be like, again, people to take over places in my team or anything like that. So anyone for you guys that you look there want to try out other than Gvardiol?
Nah, not really.
Not many eye catchers. I mean, just because a lot of them are repeats.
Yeah.
I'll be happy to get an upgrade on my Donjon Marlon I got from my ones to watch pack at the beginning of the year. So I'll be happy to use that because he's going up from an 83 to what I'd assume be an 85.
Yes, 85. Yeah.
Yeah.
So that's be very nice. Apart from that,
when we get to this sort of bit, obviously we always talk about Team of the Week because it sort of relates to real life football, and we do like to talk about it, and we talk about the Team of the Week cards because obviously at some point there is going to be an Mbappe, Messi, Neymar, something that's going to come into a Team of the Week. But do you think there is anything they could do just to boost this a little bit so that it makes them a bit more, I'm not necessarily talking about them being usable, but just a bit more, give us a bit more engagement with them? Because at the moment, the only engagement we get from them is red picks and the fact that a lot of SBCs require them. Is there anything about making these cards usable or anything that you guys think they could do?
Well, if you think about it, there's not much they can do these days. They've tried to do something this year. They tried to put the featured Team of the Week every week, guarantee someone to get a double boost. Yeah. That's a new thing this year. But if you look beyond that, the sheer saturation of special cards is what's causing Team of the Week to become irrelevant outside of fodder. Because back in the day, as I say, just as an example, that mini layer brought up, cards like that, that was the only thing between Team of the Year and Team of the Season. Yeah. So informs were incredibly relevant week on week. People would actively celebrate. I remember the days of FIFA 12 through 15. Not many series were around during them, but some people do pack opening series, etc., or just series generally. And you would hear someone wildly celebrate and yell inform. Nowadays, it's like, oh, I got an inform. All right. Yeah. Back in the day, even like, not even look at Gvardiol. Let's look at someone sufficiently tragic.
Pre-promo era, basically.
Pre-promo era or very start of promo era. I would be looking at this guy from this Team of the Week, the right forward 82 Barak, and go, yo, inform! No way, okay. And then you'd be celebrating that you got like a something. Even if it's like a bad inform, you'd still celebrate an inform. Nowadays it's like Ben White being a good example. Ben White being, how much is he nowadays? Because all the informs have gone up, I assume he's somewhere between like 20.
Probably about 20k.
20 to 30, 20 something K now. Like that card would automatically probably have been about 30 to 40, etc. It would have been more and more. And because you couldn't, it's 25k turns out. So he'd be about this price that he is now, naturally from Team of the Week.
And it is that thing now, isn't it? They've only become ways for people to trade and make some coins, rather than them being, like you say, usable or anything else to get excited about.
Discard.
It's the sheer saturation that's done it, and it's this year the sheer levels of saturation have hit even higher than any other year.
Than any other year.
With the promo being almost every single week.
Yeah, I think if you,
barring one or two blips, there's been almost non-stop
and
promos.
We called that at the start, didn't we? We called that at the very first podcast or when we first started noticing that, like, suddenly the first promo ended on a Wednesday and there was a new one on a Friday, we called it. We said it's their final year of it being as it is. We feel like this is the year they're going to push and have more promos than ever, and sure enough, they haven't disappointed us. Like, they are clearly going for it, and I think,
well, they have.
And like, the other thing I noticed, like, and most people probably would have noticed, is that when it has come to lightning rounds this year with Team of the Year packs and things, they just haven't been selling out.
Yeah, when would that have happened? I'm trying to think of the last time a lightning round.
Couldn't ever remember.
I remember the peak years of Black Friday when you'd see someone like, this is a name from the past, Lucas, sitting up at like 4 a.m. opening 100k packs, because 125k packs didn't exist back then. Opening 100k packs on loop, straight away, just in 100k packs. Doesn't care, doesn't look at the bank account, definitely not. But they'd be sending it and getting legend. They'd get like a decent inform. So like, I remember when on like, maybe not Black Friday, it might have been Team of the Year, that you'd see like inform Alexis Sanchez was the thing at Arsenal, something like that. You'd see like they were, not that saying that's just convenient that someone got a good inform that week, so the equivalent being Kimmich this year, something like that would still be viewed as a decent pull thing, but you'd obviously aim for legends, obviously aim for Team of the Years, but it's the sheer oversaturation that sort of kills cards like this. You'll still see people wanting to make unique teams from time to time, hence I do player reviews. Like, unique players are still fun to use, etc.
Yeah, and I think
a lot of people won't care, and it'll be cheaper.
And I think one of the things that actually did encourage that a little bit this year was squad foundations, wasn't it? Like that, I've seen a lot of those players knocking around in series and also knocking around in people's main teams, because a lot of people now, because of how SBCs have gone, have got a couple of icons, so they can have that inform Banza or that left mid Chong and not have to have a full Belgian league or Portuguese league or whatever championship Birmingham team, other than that one guy in EA. That is, they've been able to do that, so they can use those unique players because they can surround them with icons, because people have been able to do the icon SBCs, especially given that at the start they were able to build fodder really easily, because fodder at the start was absolutely in the gutter. But yeah, so I think it's just how things have gone. I know we've gone a bit off tangent on the This Week in Football, but it's because there's not really a lot to talk about. The only thing there is to talk about really is Watford have sacked another manager.
Yes,
another one. Not
17
another
in
one.
10 years.
What, another one?
Honestly, it's almost like they are playing like their own version of Football Manager, and because they're not getting a result every week, I thought, like, let's get him out, let's get someone else in.
Although, to be fair, they did lose to Norwich. That is quite... I mean, that's got two people sacked in back-to-back weeks.
Yeah, that has,
And to think they beat Man United, like, not that long ago.
Yeah, and that got a manager sacked as well.
And then
Norwich manager killers. Who's getting sacked this week? Hang on.
Yeah, who have they got next? Yeah, is it Tottenham?
Let me go on Bet365 in a minute after this. Don't gamble away. But who have Norwich got? That's not Spurs. Conte's safe. Okay. Norwich have Crystal Palace. Vieira's
gone.
And then Pep's gone. Like, it's
gone before he's actually gone, because he is.
He drew against Southampton.
It's unacceptable.
Lose 1-0 to.
It's unacceptable.
Lose 1-0
He's not
to,
won the Champions League yet.
Norwich for like the second time in 2 years. And then end up getting sacked for it. Yeah.
Bye bye.
But no, it's actually mental. Nice little winning streak for not you, but sort of you, because you're not really.
No, I'm from. Like I say, I'm from there. I follow them, and it is. It's nice to see that. Like, I think the thing is though, both teams were there for the. There for the taking. I mean, it's been Norwich have been dire this season, but what I mean is, if there's teams to beat in the time of need right now, it was Watford and Everton, because they both had manager close to losing their managers at the time, or in point of fact they did both obviously push them over the edge, and finally helped them clubs put their nail in the coffin, so to speak. And yeah, the times when they actually could go out there and this is the 3 points you need to get, actually did get the 3 points they need to get, which is massive, and hopefully will be enough to maybe see them stay afloat. We'll see. It's a long way still to go, but you never know. Stranger things have happened. Like you say, if they can get a result out of Crystal Palace, then I definitely think they've got a chance, because I think there's a lot more teams down there that are in trouble than if they now get another 3 points under their belt. And a lovely little flick goal from Josh Sargent as well. Like, don't know where that came from, but yeah.
What a way to score your first goal.
It was, yeah. What
by complete accident.
Yeah, well, it wasn't a complete accident. It was just more like Pookie's ball into him was awful.
No, it was by
he played it so far behind him, and he's gone, I've got to try and just flick my foot up to get this ball, and yeah, ends up not just getting it, but also barring in and just over the line. You know, it makes it look far more spectacular than it was. But even still, fair play to the guy. Then scored another goal, and then
good goal, good
yeah,
header.
Good header, and then obviously we got gifted the own goal to make it 3. How Watford didn't get a goal in that game, I don't know. They had plenty of chances, but yeah,
because they got their strikers sent off.
That don't help, does it? That don't help.
No, it doesn't. Doesn't help when you captain them in your fantasy team either.
Oh, okay.
Turns out. Nice little fun fact. When you don't play in ages and you still got Mo Salah as captain and Dennis as your vice, doesn't it?
But do you think now? So
turns out, just pay attention.
Mers said how many managers was it, Mers, since 2012?
So it's 17 managers, but I think 2 of them are caretaker, and then 1 is a repeat manager, which was obviously Sanchez Flores.
So Kike Sanchez Flores.
So yeah, if you're now a person, are you taking this job?
Of course, they're going to find somebody, because if you look at most of the managers, they tend to go for like South American managers or managers that don't know much about Watford, and probably giving them this promised land. And I think lapping it up,
and then manage in the Premier League.
Like, oh yeah, it sounds like a great
exactly.
Mark's quote.
Yeah,
the Championship.
Yeah, managing the best league in the world for the next 4 months. And then
you're sacked, so then someone else can be in the Championship.
Someone else could start the year with the Championship. Yeah, probably is going to be the way. And then obviously Benitez did go. Who do we think is going to get the Everton job?
I mean, we can't say the generic option anymore. Like, do you know the generic option would have been?
Go on.
Eddie Howe.
We can't say it because he actually has got a job now.
Like, he would have been the prime candidate for that Everton job. Going like,
well, hang on a minute. When Newcastle playing Norwich?
Don't make me go back on the Premier League.
No, I'm just saying, as a joke that they get sacked because Norwich could beat them. So I think I saw a few people calling for like they would want Moyes back. I don't know.
They would want him. They're not getting him.
No.
So he's going to be happy. He's happy at West Ham.
Yeah, exactly. And I think
the man's found success for the first time in years. He's not going to just throw that away.
No, and they are doing very, very well, aren't they? Let's face it.
Eddie Howe's lasting until April 23rd.
April 23rd. You heard it here first.
He's got months.
I reckon that's the 3 points we get there is what sends Newcastle down, and Eddie Howe gets sacked.
Well, it's 5 games from the end of the season, so it's perfectly possible. Although Norwich do have a terrible run in.
Yeah.
They play Spurs last game, Wolves, West Ham, Villa, Newcastle. They got an easy game in United, then Burnley. But yeah, it's not a nice April, May time.
No, hopefully they need to get mostly safe by then, and just do their best to ride it out, I suppose. But that is all we really got to say on the football front. I believe we have some questions for us again.
We have, and the questions this week are coming from Discord. So if you want to be part of that and join our Discord, I'll put the link down in the description down below so you can join our Discord so you can submit future questions. But yeah, let's get straight into this. We have got to name a player from each club from like GH and Venom. We're not going to do those. We're not here forever because I think we might even struggle to like try and name certain players from some of the more obscure clubs, like top 6 we could maybe do, but like as you're going down the list a bit, I think we'll probably start to struggle.
Maybe we'll answer some of those on Discord, but not on here.
Yep. So, and then there's one question directly aimed only at me because it's an Arsenal-based question, so we're not going to answer that one. So we'll start off with this one from NC. Favorite card so far this year? So favorite FIFA card that you have used in FIFA 22. So what are you saying, guys?
Card of the year. Second
favorite card.
No. We all know what that is already. So second favorite card.
Well, you might as well. No, you might as well say that.
I mean,
just in case there's listeners.
He's an Andre Silva fan by now. Then they haven't been listening at all.
They haven't been listening to the podcast. So I need to think of someone else.
There's someone new who's only tuning in for the first time today.
I mean, we all know it's Andre Silva though. It's just a given fact.
There we go. Right. So for Luke, it's second favorite player. For me, it's going to have to probably also be second favorite player because
Luis
I
Diaz,
think. Luis Diaz, number one for me.
I mean, I'm gonna say a player that I love in the game, who's not sort of like a normal player, because I think it's easy to say like all those meta player things that everyone uses, like the Fekir or Kimpembe and things like that, because they're just players that just seem to be overpowered in the game. But for me, it's the Squad Foundation's Openda. I really love that card in game. I think he's brilliant.
Okay.
I used to he replaced. I used to start Robbie Keane, my hero, because I got him in my first ever untradeable hero pack. I started playing with Robbie Keane. I did not like him at all. Couldn't get on with him. So as soon as the game started, I subbed on Openda for him and never looked back. He was incredible.
I told you didn't like him, Mez. I did say Brad was not a fan of him.
Yeah, not a fan of Robbie Keane.
I quite liked it. I thought Robbie Keane was great, but
I think it's going to have to be the other part of my strike force on my RTG, and I'm not sure which one. It's a toss-up between one of two Perfect Link players, and they are very meta-relevant, but it's which one. Is it Anthony or is it Neres?
Oh, okay.
I do love both those cards, though. Both those cards, I mean, well, one of them has played 188 games for me, one's played 199. So I'm going to go for the one that's played 199, and that's David Neres.
Okay. I haven't even done. I didn't even do those cards, so yeah.
David Neres was those two as a front two. I played them as a front two in a 3-5-2. They tore defenses apart. Yeah. So just the tight, like this is very meta relevant, but it's the tight turning, the insane dribbling, the 5-star skills helps, but only for the scoop turns are tighter. It's the only thing I actually somewhat cared about, which is worrying. But yeah, they just absolutely tore people to shreds for me.
Fair enough.
If they had 4-star weak foot, then perfect.
I mean, for me, I'm probably going to have to go with my most capped player in my club currently. Although he's not in my actual team anymore, Christian Romero.
Spurs player is your second favourite. Oh boy, fair enough. If we were going off my most capped player, then that's actually Kostic. For my, he's actually even out caps Andre Silva.
I can't believe you just said a Spurs player.
Neither. I know he liked him, but Christ, wasn't expected.
I mean, to be fair, I found it was always he would always work hard, getting back, winning the ball back and stuff. And I think you got, because most people when they say favourite players, they mostly go for the attackers, the strikers and stuff. But I think. I can't overlook what a certain defender does, and I think for Romero, the amount of times I'm going like, okay, come on, I need my defender right now, and Romero comes in and saves the day, getting a last ditch tackle, something like that, stopping a potential goal or a one-on-one situation happening. I think, Romero. For the first 3-4 months of this game, you're always in my team. I always wanted you in my team, so I've got to, even though he's a Spurs fan, I've got to acknowledge it. Basically, I've got to acknowledge it.
Here's a question for you, Maz. Based off of one of my other ones, if we're talking my favourite defender, it's Cordoba. What height would you say someone has to be as a minimum for a centre back? Because I know you don't like short centre backs. So what height would you say is a minimum requirement for you?
For me personally, I prefer 6 foot and above. Although I could get away sometimes with maybe the 5'10s and the 5'11s.
Okay.
From time to time, but yeah, I prefer 6 foot tall defenders.
I'd say Romero barely makes that. He's 6'1".
Yeah, nah. 6 foot's fine because like I'm trying to think of like one. I'm trying to think. Ramos, I think, might be 6
He is
foot.
6 foot bang on. Is Sergio Ramos? Yes.
Yeah, yeah. See, like in previous years, one of my sort of go-to centre backs and stuff. Yeah, so I can live with 6 foot. It's because I find it's all about those. Like I say, if someone's got winter wildcards, Ibrahimovic, and I'm picturing Cordoba trying to man mark him in a game of FIFA.
Do you
I feel
really
like
get crossed on that often though?
just like,
and especially now since the corner
I-
patch has gone.
I do because of the way that I play. Because of the way I always push people out wide, which means like if I have short centre backs, that's going to encourage them to cross the ball. So that's why I always like don't want to have the short centre backs.
The thing is though, if someone's got that winter wildcard Ibrahimovic that you speak of, he's 6'5" and he's got 94 jumping.
Yeah.
I don't think anyone
no one should really be able to get ahead of him
unless you're rocking last year's Festival of Football Yerry Mina. You're not beating him in the air.
No,
like that card is absolutely
Lukaku then.
I think
there
like
Lukaku.
Lukaku's more of a fair comparison.
I mean, the only player I've come up against that I found really annoying in the air in terms of defenders is that the UEL Delit that people had at the start of the game. The guy just headed away everything. I remember when I did that video with Jay Coyle, I think he had him in his defence. I just couldn't get anything. He won everything. So I just stopped having to be able to try and put balls in the box.
Jumping on a 6'2"
yeah,
player.
he was crazy.
That's what that is.
But I can't say I ever look at height, if I'm honest. It doesn't bother me.
Yeah, I'm always a stat merchant when I pick players and
the
stuff.
man could be at home with a spreadsheet, I'm fairly sure. Mers would be at home on a spreadsheet looking at what players are what stat. He won't give anyone a try unless they've got a certain thing. They have to meet certain requirements.
Yeah. Always, yeah. I always carefully pick my players. I rarely come across someone that I don't like. Like, I look at Varane. I don't like him because he doesn't have the balance. Basically. So, do not use Varane. He's tall. Yes, he meets the height, but he doesn't have the balance.
Don't use Koundé because he's 5'11". That's another one you've said.
Yeah, I mean, unless it's on object, like if it's like doing the objectives or something like that in the friendlies, then I would accept using like a Koundé. But if I was doing my champs or something like, then I kind of then say no.
See, I had that like fire version of him in a draft, and he was absolutely insane.
Yeah, but Mers won't give him a shot because he's 5'11".
Yeah, it's 5'11". Sorry, he's not allowed. I'd rather go for my Niakate that I've now sold. But yeah, if I want a French centre back, although not from the same league, but if it was a French specific, it'll be Niakate over a Koundé. Yeah, Koundé.
I mean, God forbid. What's your take on left backs? Can they be 5'8"?
Oh yeah.
Acuna would be in the bracket then.
As long as they've got the physicality and side of things, ideally.
Acuna has pretty much everything physically apart from jumping.
Yeah. So like, I would happily use.
He can't jump and he's 5'8".
Yeah, like that.
Who was the person you slagged off at right back the other week? I swear, for not being able to jump and being beaten in the air. Was it Jesus Navas?
Yeah, it was. Yeah.
Yeah.
Is he not just another side of Jesus Navas?
Yeah. Plays for the same team as well.
5'8", and Jesus Navas has more jumping. So,
I don't seem to know some of Acuna though. I feel like Kuna's like out.
I haven't played much with Jesus Navas because I had him for a while in my team and I thought he was brilliant.
A little bit in the objectives. So like,
I mean, I had his second inform.
Yeah, I have used.
I had his second inform.
Well, actually, I think I've also done it in a squad building series, but I never put that as a full actual like test of a card because obviously it's only one game. But I think it was probably his inform.
Okay.
I might have had.
Mm-hmm.
So
basically, the lesson I'm trying to teach here is don't judge a book by the cover. Just because someone's 5'8" at right back doesn't mean they're not usable.
No, it's only at centre back because I've got Kante
like
at the end
Jesus
of the day. I've got
Navas, and
Kante
you said
in
this
my team.
previously that you don't like
Kante.
Jesus Navas. He
I've got
doesn't
Kante.
win balls in the air. He's the same height and got more
Yeah, I
jumping
don't
than
like
a card you do like.
I look at Jesus Navas. I don't like him. I said this because of his physicality as well. No, strength. That was it. Like looking at his.
He's got
like,
44 strength. That's the killer.
Physicality.
That's the killer in there.
Yeah.
He matches Cunha in most other stats in terms of physicality.
Yeah. Right. So that's our favourite cards, and me being a stat merchant on cards as well. So next up we've got Venom, who's asking most underrated player this season in the Premier League. He says, in his opinion, it's Tielemans, but he's being biased because he's a Leicester fan, basically. So, who wants to take this one first?
The problem is here, I feel like in order to make this decision, you've got to watch so much Premier League football. Because watching just a match of the day is not enough, really.
It's very true.
I mean...
And I'm trying not to be biased with mine as well.
Yeah, and that's what I'm trying to think of. I feel like anybody...
I want to say Lucas Moura, but I'm not saying Lucas Moura.
Anybody I'm saying...
I'm having a look for someone else.
Anybody I'm saying here, and I would probably... I'll be looking at people that are now probably starting to get their props a little bit, like Gallagher at Crystal Palace. He is now starting to get recognised now.
If I was looking at a Palace
it's not
player,
really
I'd be
underrated
looking more
now.
towards
Edouard, yeah, exactly. Like the guy,
as an underrated one. That man does not, I don't think, get as much.
No, he doesn't.
At first, when he burst on the scene against Spurs, but I'm gonna have to try and find this tweet. But I saw something from Chris Hamill from Football Daily, saying about this as well. Like stats wise, I think he's got 0.5 goals excluding penalties per game.
Yeah.
I'm gonna double check this,
which is massive.
But hold on, let's Chris Hamill.
I feel like I want to say like one of the Brighton players or something like that. Because Brighton are slightly punching above the.
But it's like that's the thing, isn't it? You look at like the team performance there, but individually, I don't know. Like, I don't think Mopé has been as good as you would want out of a striker. I don't think he's also the sole reason why they're doing so well, but he'd be someone you'd want to try and look at, or Trossard. I don't know. I don't know.
You've got Basuma that does obviously really
someone
well.
He only gets props when he does something outrageous, but James Ward-Prowse, doesn't really get as many props as the guy should get. Like he only gets them when he actually scores that dead ball specialist free kick. But let's not forget, the guy does it so often, but also it does actually never stop working. Like he's a little bit like what I think about James Milner back in the day. Obviously not so much anymore, but James Milner would not stop from whistle to whistle. That guy will just work for you the whole game, and I think Ward-Prowse does the exact same thing. And then you stick him at a dead ball situation 30 yards from goal, and the guy comes up and smashes it in the top bins. And so I think Ward-Prowse would be one that springs to mind for me, and I would like to see him get a little bit more of a feature in the England team. But we've got so many good midfielders in a way that it comes down to the clubs they play for a little bit. And I know it shouldn't, but it does sometimes, and that is a bit of a shame because as a Southampton player he's not going to get chosen as much. I
will debate you on this. So Calvin Phillips starting the entirety of the Euros gets in as a Leeds player. How?
But does he now?
Well, because he's been injured for so long.
He's been injured now, and Leeds have not been anywhere near as good as they were last year.
Yeah, but he's not going to get straight back into the England team.
It's going to be based on his injury as well.
If we go, it's going to be based off his injury. But the thing is, saying it's based off of his club when someone from Leeds not only gets in but starts.
I'm not saying fully, but I'm saying
getting a bit.
I'm not saying fully. I'm just saying that when it comes to position, Calvin Phillips as a CDM, who are his main rivals other than Jordan Henderson?
Declan Rice.
Declan Rice.
We played with 2 though, didn't we?
For the Euros. We did play a 2, but he's still a rival for it. If Southgate suddenly decides to mix it up and go with 1 DM,
then it's going to be Declan, isn't it?
Off for Declan Rice. Like, it depends how Southgate wants to play. Considering, especially with it being in Qatar, conditions are not going to be preferable for England, let's be honest. We complain when it gets over 30. Like, it's going to be probably more than that. We complain when it gets over 25, let's be honest. But the heat, the humidity out there, you're going to need someone probably more like a Ward-Prowse, in my opinion. Because you're going to need someone who's going to be able to run for ages despite conditions. Yeah. So,
well, and I think you'll find
see a few more workhorse style players will actually work better.
Yeah, and I think in that scenario you'll find that like our forward like running players will not make unnecessary movements or work as much as they would usually in a normal game, just because they don't want to tire themselves out. Like, we'll only be making moves when it counts. I think you'll see like a lot of jogging around the pitch or just pacing around the pitch, waiting for that burst of pace, as opposed to like constantly running down the channel to turn a defender or to make a defender. I think that's where the passes go, and I think there'll be less of that from us because we are going to struggle. Definitely, we know what English people are like in hot weather, like
Yeah.
But I'd like
to go back to the Edouard shout. I found a stat. It was expected goals and assists of 0.56 per game per 90, which is decent enough for a striker.
Oh, brilliant!
In a mid-table side, that's actually a pretty decent number.
Yeah, it's brilliant when you think that averages to what 20 goal contributions or goals a season. You would take that, especially at that level. Of a team,
especially when you've got Wilfried Zaha in your team naturally as well,
exactly.
who would be contributing to goals. But to touch on a team that I don't think we've really touched on here, I think Jose Sarr deserves a shout. I was all over this man's case. To say him. I've been all over this man's case. From the start of the year.
Yeah.
I said that going from Portugal's number 1 to their number 2 or 3, no. But he's been a turn up for the books, so I was completely wrong.
And he's I think before this,
the number of clean
before
sheets.
this as well, he was like playing for Olympiacos, was he? Or?
Olympiacos.
So so like arguably in a very poor league prior to this. So to come in, and play against the type of caliber of players he's played against, definitely.
Yeah, he's played against Josh Sargent, Timu Pukki, Ivan Toney.
I mean, he's had a lot of clean sheets as well. I think he's second or third in terms of
I believe so.
Clean sheets.
That's huge, isn't it?
Yeah, I mean, looking at the number of goals that Wolves have conceded, 16, but they've only scored 19. So the fact that they're 8th, with the fact that they're not really scoring goals, but managing to keep those clean sheets, definitely is being a big deciding factor. And who's between the sticks? It's Jose Sarr. So he definitely deserves plaudits for what he's done there. And people like saying, he won't be able to fit into Patricio's shoes when he left for Roma, but he has. He's done even better. He's done even better than Patricio.
Yeah, and controversially, really. I don't think that they're going to suffer too much with the loss of Traore.
Oh no, not at all. He's barely done it.
No, I think he's definitely not. He hasn't had a goal or assist. I don't think.
He literally scored. in his last game.
Okay.
He should have had more than one. To be fair, but he did manage to get his goal in the end.
Tell me that doesn't sum up that man's career.
Pretty much, and I think that's the thing is it's because he's very much been a one route man, hasn't he? It's a get the ball, pace out and out physical the striker, and then get in on goal. And unfortunately, for him, doesn't have the end product you would want from someone that can get in that position all the time. But it looks like he's off to Spurs.
Not too sure how I feel on it. I mean, it depends what we plan on doing with him. If he's replacing Lucas Moura, no,
it's not a like for like, is it?
If he's replacing Matt Doherty / Emerson Royale, yes. We'll see how he goes in that wing back role. Obviously, physicality and pace is going to be beautiful, but depends how good he is at being a wing back. Obviously, I know he got a wing back in from the other FIFA, but that means absolutely nothing.
Yeah.
So hopefully the man can sort of perform from a wing back role.
And it'd be just interesting to see, like, you know, how he is just from stepping up to that next caliber of, just that slightly next caliber of players, you know, around him. Like he is, you know, I'm not taking anything away from Wolves, but just you know, it is a little bit of a step up, and just to see, does that bring his level up? Does that bring him up to that level, or does he just look like he's off the pace? And that will be interesting. Be interesting to see.
I mean, another sort of talking of Spurs transfers, that he's probably the one I'm least interested in of the ones we're linked with. In complete truth, obviously there's a Kessie link. There's I think a McKennie link recently, and one or two others. So I'd obviously much prefer to get in front Kessie.
Yeah, of course.
I mean, preferably if I was given my ideal choice, go yes, we'll do a trade deal for Frank Kessie for Ndombele. Get Ndombele out of here. Such a leech on the wages. AC Milan love a temperamental person. They love temperamental divas. Just look at Donnarumma.
Well, would they be paid wages though?
They paid Donnarumma's wages.
Yeah.
Yeah, I suppose so. But I think they were a little bit desperate to try.
And he was there from like
like
16 or 15, wasn't he? So.
16 was when he was first choice, I think.
But I think that is going to be it for the Q&A this week. So like I said, if you want to submit questions for the Q&A, feel free to join our Discord. We basically have a section in there that you can submit your questions at any point in the week. So obviously if anything happens, like you see something in the news, or if you see something in the game and you want to ask us our thoughts and opinions on it, as long as obviously we've seen it happen or read it, then we can try and answer those sort of questions. Don't forget the food. There was no food-based questions
like,
this week.
Or you're sitting there eating your favourite pie, and you want to know what flavour we like.
Yeah.
Get involved.
Pie.
Wow, is it a fruit pie or a sweet pie or a savoury
pie? Fruit pie that you'd have with custard, personally.
Yeah. Yeah. Okay.
Or ice cream.
I mean, that's easy.
You know, if anyone's
Apple.
psycho.
Wow, I prefer ice cream with a bit of pie
started.
or crumble.
Here we go.
Is it? We're back for next time. The pie gate.
Someone is going to absolutely ask this question.
I've set it up now.
This far.
Yeah, there we go. GH. It's going to be GH. It's so going to be GH.
When the next time that lunch bell gets rung, GH,
calling you out now,
let us know what kind of pie you're having.
Yeah, but yeah, that's it with the Q&A, and that is it for this week's episode of the FUT Tiers podcast. Obviously, any links that you want to check out our content, our YouTube content, obviously our socials and stuff, all down below. So feel free to click onto those and go and drop us follows and stuff. But with that being said, we will. Well, actually, first of all, thank you, Luke and Brad, for being on this week's episode.
No problem.
As always. And we will see you all next week.
See ya.
Bye-bye, guys.
Peace out.